Alrighty, we're back. That's it. I'm putting a lot of episodes out now. I'm grinding. I've been on the grind lately. This is episode 8 now. Today, I'm joined by Hanna Banner. What's going on, Hanna? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Okay, fantastic. We were talking beforehand. My whole body's just sore right now for wrestling last night, and I don't know why that happened, but I was wrestling last night, and my whole body's sore. So, wrestling is a real sport. If people say otherwise, it's real. Um, Anyway, we'll hop right into it. So Hanna is a senior biology major, right?
Yeah,
And she's actually looking for big girl jobs right now,
I
right?
am.
We'll talk about that a little bit later. Hanna, let's start with this. So, how did you get into biology, right? And what exactly is biology? Like, what are you studying right now?
So to start, I guess, how did I get into biology? Science was always something that I was super interested in, especially in high school. I think that's where I really developed like my core science like skills. So I knew that going into college, I wanted to choose a major that I could really like learn more about it and like a broader scope. So that's why I picked biology, and now I like feel like a scientist every day. So like that's pretty fun. What was the question?
Just what do you study? Like, what is biology, right? Like, what exactly is it? Because it seems so
Okay,
broad. You know what I mean? It's like broad.
yeah, so biology is basically the study of life.
Hmm.
So it's so broad.
What's your favorite subject in it? Like, or what's your favorite class?
I guess my favorite class that I've taken so far is probably my neurobiology one that I'm taking right now. That's with Dr. Leung. We're basically learning about the study of the brain and how systems in the brain work. So that's pretty interesting to me.
That is really interesting. Is it like a mechanism kind of thing, or is it like responses, like enzymes in your brain? Like, I don't even understand how the brain works. Like how does it work? Like, is it just like a response? Just
Yeah, so there's like a bunch of different parts to the brain. So basically, we're learning like the mechanisms that go on to function in the brain. And then there's a lot of like chemistry and like cellular mechanisms that go on like in the background that people don't really think about.
Mhm.
So,
That's awesome. So, what are you involved with on campus? Like, I know you, but for those of you out there who don't know Hannah Banner, what do you?
yeah, so I'm pretty involved on campus. I guess like most of the time, you probably find me in the research lab.
Mm,
Um, Other times I am in the bio club. I'm the student government representative. I'm also a member of Tri Beta. I'm the vice president and the secretary. So that's like the Biological Honor Society. I'm a member of Alpha Omega Epsilon. So I'm like a sister in that professional sorority. I'm a member of student government. So I'm pretty involved, I would
heck
say.
yeah!
Yeah,
So, sweetheart, you didn't hear that from me.
I am a teak sweetheart.
No, yeah, you're pretty involved around campus. I will attest to that. You're definitely found in the research lab if you're not anywhere else. But
Yeah.
it's a good segue there right into this because your research, a lot of people say it's dumb. I don't think it's dumb. I think it's pretty important. But you're the expert on this field. Let's go ahead and hop right into this.
Man, yeah, I hope people don't think it's dumb. I
It's
mean,
not.
honestly, like I don't think any kind of research is dumb because I think it's all important, no matter how small the scale.
Hmm.
But as a biologist and as a research, my research is actually really important for the diamondback terrapin species. So I guess like I'll get a little bit into that. So what I work on is the locomotion capacity and metabolic capacity of diamondback terrapin hatchlings. So we
Like
partner
turtles, just
wide,
so everyone knows, like they're
yeah,
basically
they're turtles. They're turtles.
just making
So
sure.
Widener partners with the Wetlands Institute in Stone Harbor, New Jersey. So we get turtles from them every year and we raise them for the first year of their life and then release them. So not only does my research, one, help the preservation effort for these animals because we're giving them more of a chance to survive in the wild after their first winter, but it also, we give all of our data and all of our information back to the Wetlands Institute, and they compile like all these files to basically understand the basic like physiological mechanisms and growth that these hatchlings go through.
Hmm. And so where does your part play in this? So like what exactly do you do?
Yeah, so 3 years ago, I started this research at Widener. And basically, what my sections have been is studying the locomotive capacity, which is basically how they walk on land and how they maneuver in the water.
Hmm.
So we measured this over many different experiments. One was on a treadmill, we walked them. We added weight to their mass to see like if they could carry things or go further or shorter distances with weights. We did tested an incline on the treadmill. So we've done a bunch of different, I guess, experiments with that. And that's basically to study their endurance, like in the wild.
Right. So you also mentioned there you want to study their metabolic processes, correct?
Yeah.
So how does that correlate, right? So if someone who doesn't know about the research, right? So how does putting them on a treadmill and basically raising them, I mean, basically literally raising them, how
Yeah.
can you like test their like metabolic processes?
So a metabolism, those experiments are totally different from the locomotive capacity ones.
Hmm.
So basically, like you put them in this chamber and it measures their oxygen consumption. So like the oxygen that they're breathing in and the carbon dioxide that they're putting out.
Hmm.
And basically what this tests is it tells you like if they're being fed enough, like the right kind of protein. And there's certain values called RQ values that will tell you like, oh, if this value is between like 0.7 and 1, that's normal for a turtle at this age.
That's interesting. So how did you like begin this, right? So like, because you said you've been on this project for 3 years now. Now, were you the first
Mm.
one to do this, or is there like work before you?
No, so there was actually a bunch of work before me. So all of the work that has been done partnering with the Wetlands Institute actually started in 2007.
Hmm. Oh wow.
So we have been, well, I've only been on the project for 3 years, but Dr. Votnik, who is my faculty advisor, has been working on this project since then with them.
Now, has you only been working on what are they called? The diamondback turtles?
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty sick name. That's really cool.
Yeah,
Um,
diamondback terrapins.
so have you been has Dr. Votnik like are there I guess my question is are there other species that are people working on right now or is it just you're just working on the diamondback turtles?
I mean, the Wetlands Institute has other species, but we are just specifically working on this one.
Why do you think so as someone who's like outside of the research, why is this important to study like the locomotive capacity of the turtles and their metabolic processes? Like why is that important?
Yeah, that's a good question. So basically, there's not a lot of research that has been done at all on this species of turtle.
Mm,
So all the information on locomotive capacity, metabolic capacity, and just basic biological functions that we are gathering at Widener, we
mm.
give to the Wetlands Institute so that they can tell everyone else, hey, this is what this university has been learning from partnering with us. So it just all around helps everyone else who either works with these turtles or is helping to aid in their preservation effort.
That's really cool. So, um, how did you get involved with the project? Right? Did you just go up to Dr. Votnik and was like, I want to work with the turtles, or was it a little bit more different than that?
Yeah, so it's a little more complicated than that. So my freshman year at Widener, I didn't do too well in one of my chem classes because didn't really understand like how college worked at the time. And so I was talking to my parents and they were like, well, you have to retake this chem class over the summer. And I was like, okay.
We love
So
chemistry.
yeah, we love chemistry here. So I started asking a bunch of different professors, hey, can I get involved in your research? Because I knew that the summer research program gave free housing. So I wanted to get the free housing so I could take the class at Widener.
Really, really juicing up the system here.
Yeah, I was juicing, juicing up the system. So I was asking around all these professors. I must have asked like 20, I don't even know. And I didn't even know the professors that I was asking. Like it wasn't like I was taking classes from them. I was a freshman, so I had no idea who these people were. And I got into contact with Dr. Mystery and I basically was like, hey, Dr. Mystery, please let me be on your research project. And she was like, okay. So the first research that I actually started with was in Dr. Mystery's lab with Drosophila, which is fruit flies.
Mm.
And we studied insulator sequences. And so basically, after that summer, I toughed it out and I was like, I have no idea what this is. I never took genetics before, didn't make any sense to me at all. So I was like, all right, well, I know that I like being in the lab to do research.
Mhm.
So I started asking around to see like what kind of other projects that were going on, because Widener has so many things and so many opportunities
Yep.
that professors are working on. So I talked to Dr. Votnik, and I think it was one of his previous research students that reached out to me and said, "Hey, I heard you were like poking around trying to see what different research projects there are. We work with turtles," and I was like, "Hey, like turtles are cute. Like I like to work with turtles." Yeah, so I went I went to the lab and checked them out, and then once I realized that like that Widener partners with the Wetlands Institute in Stone Harbor, New Jersey. I live 15 minutes away from there.
Yeah, she's
So I
from
was
Ocean
like,
City,
wow,
ladies and
like,
gentlemen.
yeah, I was like, wow, this project really hits home for me. So I think that's where it kind of like clicked, and I decided to be a part of the team.
Is Widener? Are there other partners with the Wetlands Institute? Like, are there?
Like other projects.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Dr. Votnik also leads a team that works with crayfish and then fiddler crabs as well.
No, they. I assume they're doing kind of the same research, where it's like the locomotive and metabolic processes, or they're doing.
No, I think they focus on acid exposure. I think they also do metabolism as well.
Okay. Now, are these as the diamondback turtles? Are they like endangered? Is that why this came about, or like they are endangered?
Yeah, so they're technically not like an endangered species exactly, um, but they are a species of special concern around that area.
Mhm. What do you think the common person can do to like help like preserve wildlife? Like for the average person, like why is this important to me? Like even for me, like why is this important to me? Like these turtles are here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so that's a really good question. I think for the average person, I know probably a lot of you that listen to this go down to the shore, go to the beach, and like are driving in the beach, across those marshes, and then cross those bridges and stuff. That's where these turtles are crossing the roads. That's where these turtles are breeding, especially during July, August, the top months of summer tourism.
Mm.
Just slow down on the roads. Like if you see a turtle crossing the road, don't run it over. It was so sad to see. I went back home last summer for a week or so, and it was so sad to see like all the turtles that had actually like been hit on the road by cars, and just
What?
just because people are careless and on vacation and they don't care. So I guess like if I could say something to everybody, it would be just slow down and pay attention. Like I know you're on vacation, but you don't have to be going all the time, you
Yeah,
know.
no, that's good. People run over turtles like they're deer or something. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, it is. It
That's
is.
crazy,
It's
man.
really a shame.
Well, now let me ask you this. So, do you see like your research? Like, how do you see your research going forward? Like, where's the next step? Like, what's the next step here?
So currently right now we are studying personality in turtles. So we're trying to see their physiological features on more of like a behavioral aspect.
Mm.
We're studying the shy bold continuum, which basically says, in like layman's terms, is a turtle shy or doesn't want to explore its environment, or is it bold? Like, will it go farther to get food? Will it go farther to defend itself from a predator? So we're simulating that in the lab right now.
So on this shy bold continuum, is there like different markers, or is it kind of just either the turtle's shy or it's bold? Like it's either one or the other, or is like can you actually measure like how shy or how bold a turtle is?
Yeah, so we're actually trying to do this right now. We made a few different protocols. This research has actually only been done in neonates or turtles like 2 or 3 times, and not even with this species. So
Hmm.
there's really no data on this at all. So Dr. Votnik and I have come up with protocols to try to simulate this, and we don't really know um, what qualifies or what numbers would specifically like qualify a turtle as shy or bold yet. I'm actually meeting with them after this to do data analysis, so I will know more about that in about an hour. But
Yeah.
we're
So
hoping
let me
to
ask you this thing
learn.
real quick. Um, like, can you say? I guess what is your method to study this? Right? Are you just saying that? Are you just like putting food out there and you're gonna see which turtles go and get it, or is there like more of a method to this?
Yeah, so not quite. So what we have set up is like this huge kind of arena with a bunch of different obstacles. So there's different kind of rocks set up. There's sand set up. There's water that's set up. There's ramps and there's tunnels in this huge container. So we put the turtle in the center of the container and record on a GoPro 30 minutes of their activity. So we're basically just seeing, what obstacles do they go to? How far do they travel? And we measure that in the distance in inches. How many times do they go from one side of the arena to the other consecutively without stopping? So we're just kind of measuring their activity level at this point. We haven't done anything like predator prey induced or anything like that yet.
Okay. So is this Hibell continuum method, right? Is this new just for the diamondback turtles, or is this a credible like source across a lot of species? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so this is a credible source across a lot of species. It just hasn't been studied particularly in reptiles at all.
Gotcha.
So
Okay. Well, I'm excited to see what happens. I'm excited to see what you find
yeah,
out.
I'm excited. We'll
Yeah.
see.
Well, listen, I'll bring you back on a couple weeks from now, whatever. You let us know like what you found.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah.
So, what is the future behold for Hanna Banner? Because I think actually, I won't say it. I won't say it. Hanna Banner, what's up with your future here?
So the future, yeah, it's kind of crazy. I found out that I can graduate in December, which is, oh my gosh, like only a month away. So senior year is like really ticking down. So I applied to a few PA schools for physician's assistant. But I think that I'm going to end up taking probably a year or two off to do some work and like get some extra hours in the field. So I've been applying to a bunch of different jobs, specifically in the research lab, because I think that that's where I've spent most of my time in college, and that's where I have, most of a chance getting hired directly out of school. Just because as a biology major, they kind of want you to like specialize more, and they don't really take a lot of entry level jobs unless you have like 4 years of research experience or this or that. So there's a lot of qualifications that go into that. But I'll give you a little sneak peek. I have been doing several interviews with CHOP, and it's looking pretty promising. So
I'll keep
have
my
to
fingers
let you
crossed.
know.
I won't say anything until it's official, but congratulations. So for those who
Thank
don't
you.
know, like what exactly is a physician's assistant? Like,
Yeah, so a PA basically works under a group of physicians, and they can do basically all the same things, write a prescription, come up with a treatment plan. They just have to get it checked by a doctor. And the difference between a PA and an MD is that a PA only goes to school for 2 years, so it's a graduate program of 2 years. An MD goes for 4 years of medical school, then does probably 4+ years of a residency, then a fellowship. So, like I'm young, and I think about my life. I'm 21 years old, and I don't want to spend the rest of my 20s in school.
that's fair.
So I think that is why I chose the route of like a PA.
No, it's definitely very honorable. I mean, I'm gonna spend the next 5, 6 years of my life in school again, which
Yeah.
that's just a choice that I want to make because I don't really mind school. I also really like research, but do you have? I'm gonna switch gears here a little bit. Do you have like any regrets, like between like when you came in as a freshman, maybe even before that, between now, would you have done anything differently? Looking back, are there like a couple of things you would have done differently?
I don't think so. I think I'm really proud of my years at Widener. I'm really proud of how I've grown since I was a freshman. When I started freshman year, I was so shy and like didn't want to meet new people or didn't want to talk to anybody. And I think that through the years at Widener, I have grown so much, not only like socially, but also academically. So
Absolutely.
I'm pretty proud.
What's like one thing you would say to like your freshman self if you were like look back? You get like one chance.
Go to class.
You don't go to class?
No, I did go to class, but like I would just tell myself, like there was just some days, like when it's rainy or like when it's super cold outside, especially when we were walking to classes, and I was like, I don't want to go. And I was swimming.
January, it's like a snowstorm.
Yeah, and I was swimming at the time, so I'd practice at 4:00 in the morning, and then I was trying to go to an 8 a.m. and I was just like,
yeah.
So if I had any advice to my freshman year self, it would be go to class. Like, you're paying so much, so just go.
You may as well go to class, honestly, and you may as well get involved. You may as well, like, you said you're on the swim team, you're in academic honor societies. Like, you may as well do it all,
Yeah.
What's some of like your favorite moments?
I guess some of my favorite moments would be presenting my research for one.
Ooh, yeah.
Another one, I was awarded with a few awards about my research and like excellence in research. So I think that
there you go.
Like the hard work that I was putting in, it just felt a lot better being recognized for that,
right.
Especially by the faculty. And then just like spending time with friends, meeting a bunch of new people, that's something that I'll always cherish, and those relationships I'll always cherish. So
heck yeah. What's like the mark you want to leave here at Widener? Like, if there's one thing that you want to be remembered for, like, what do you think that is?
As of right now, I'll probably be remembered like for my research.
The turtle.
But I think that like what I wanted to be remembered for is just like somebody who was super kind and like always went above and beyond for everybody else. So
no, that's definitely true. You're like one of the most generous and kindest people I know, so
thank you.
What's like advice you give to like freshman students, maybe like prospective students in biology? Like, what's some advice you give to them?
There's a few things. The first one would be, don't be afraid to ask for help. We've all been there. I know that when I was a freshman, I did struggle with like asking for help because I was like, wow, my professors are going to think I'm stupid, but it's not that at all. Like, they want to be there to help you, and they put in the time. Like, they have office hours, just go to them. So that's one.
You can just go and say hi. Like, honestly, like,
yeah,
virtual format. Just go to your professor's office hours to say hi. Like, literally, it'll make their day.
Yeah, and I think that building a relationship with your professors is really important. Another thing would be just get involved, whether it's research or clubs or activities or sports or anything. Just do something, because there's so much of your time, and I feel like the more that I have myself busy or scheduled, the better I do in my classes, because I have to kind of prioritize like where I'm doing my work and stuff like that. So
no, that's great. That's some really good advice. I find that the students that are like the most busy actually do the best, like academic wise, because you're right. I think that when you're organized and like you have a lot of things to do, you're surrounded by other people who are also busy and really organized and are driven. So
yeah,
no, I think you'll see that. I think you'll see your grades go up for sure. Well, Hannah, as we begin to wrap up here, I just want to thank you for coming on. It was really fun.
Yeah, of course.
I'll have to get you on again here. I want to learn about those turtles again.
Yeah, no problem.
Alrighty, everyone. I want to thank everyone for joining in. This is episode 8 on Just Go Podcast. Make sure to like and subscribe if you like the content. If not, oh well. This wasn't. But all right, thank you, everyone. See ya. Unless I stuck by